Hey all, I'm the outdoor VAD guy. I always say the best heart medicines don't come from the pharmacy. They are exercise, attitude, and the outdoors. I've already finished my 10,000 steps for today, so I thought I'd sit back, relax, and make my first video, of course, outdoors. My quick background is that back in 2019, my heart failure rapidly progressed over 4 months, and I found myself in a cardiac ICU with my doctors recommending end-of-life care. Instead, we implanted a HeartMate 3 LVAD, or a left ventricular assist device. At that time, I never even heard of an LVAD and received a crash course on how to live with my VAD. This is probably one of the most common stories of how many patients begin their LVAD journeys. 4 years later, I am thriving with my VAD and thought it was time to share what has worked well for me. So these videos are intended for LVAD patients and their caregivers. Any views expressed in these videos are solely of my own experiences and are intended to give patients some ideas of what may work for them. As with everything VAD, always ask your VAD team for their input and guidance. This video is not sponsored in any way, nor am I reimbursed for any product recommendations. I am simply relating what has worked well for me in the past 4 years. Now with the disclaimers out of the way, the most common LVAD question patients ask me is how I carry my equipment. The HeartMate 3 batteries and controller weigh about 5.2 pounds, although my VAD team gives me a 7-pound weight allowance when I weigh in. Additionally, I need to carry my backup equipment everywhere I go, which adds another 5.2 pounds to lug around. While this doesn't sound like a lot of weight, having 5.2 pounds permanently tied to your body with a cable that goes through your skin to your pump attached to your heart, that all could be quite burdensome to manage 7 by 24 hours each day. How VAD patients carry their equipment can make a big difference in their daily enjoyment and mobility. Thus, for my first video, I'll review 6 various LVAD clothing and accessories that I've used over the past 4 years, including cargo pockets, football girdles, StashBandz, LVAD shirts, Conceal carry t-shirts, and the LVAD Backpack. My goals with the different methods to carry my equipment are, first, to distribute the weight of my equipment so there's not a single point on my body that has a constant strain of that weight. Secondly, to maximize my mobility. I am a physically active VAD patient, whether camping, hiking, gardening, doing yard work, biking, even jogging occasionally. Third, probably the most important, is to protect my driveline and cords. While I've never had an infection, I understand that many exit site infections begin with bad pulls on the driveline. While your Foley anchor is your primary means of protection, the method of carrying your equipment can enhance your driveline protection. Another goal may be to discreetly conceal my VAD equipment. Some patients are uncomfortable by the way people stare at their cords and equipment. Personally, I'm quite amused by the frequent stares. However, when I dress up, I like to conceal my equipment, like going to the theater, restaurants, or special events. With that being said, we're going to jump to my favorite way to carry my equipment, which is cargo pockets. Using cargo pockets gets the weight off my upper body down to my legs, and I usually even separate my batteries between my right and left leg. When I separate the batteries that way, as you can see, I have a cord that comes out in front. If you're uncomfortable with that, or at times I don't even want that cord there, if your pockets are large enough, you could put the batteries, twist that up, put the batteries into the same pocket. The only issue with going 2 batteries in one pocket is if I'm walking really far, those start to rub my thigh a little bit, and it can get a little sore. One important concept when you're using cargo pockets is always put your battery in upside down, so the cord can actually freely flow. When you put your batteries in right side up, you'll notice that you get a big kink or a pretty sharp bend in the cord coming back. So again, I just keep my batteries upside down. With shorts, the key for me is to make this work is to purchase 11-inch cargo pocket shorts. 9-inch shorts typically don't have large enough pockets to store my HeartMate 3 batteries. The brands I typically buy come with waist sizes between 30 inches and 50 inches, and inseams between 28 inches and 36 inches. I think I covered the batteries on the cargo pockets. The controller placement is the next thing to care about. Typically, I just place my controller in my left-hand pocket. Depending how loose your pants are or how tight they are, this method may or may not work for you. Alternatively, for many of the configurations, I could also store my controller in the belt attachment that I originally received with my VAD. Step back and get it in the camera range there, and just lock it down that way. So that covers the batteries and the controller. The last thing is securing our cords. The shorts and pants that I've worn so far are from Duluth Trading Company, and the nice thing about them is they have a hammer hold, or this little strap of cloth right behind the pockets. And so I just gently tuck my cords in to the hammer hold, and that typically secures them without a problem. If I'm playing with pets or kids, or even just a little uncomfortable being in a crowded location or what have you, I'll go a step further and tuck my cord underneath, or my drive line underneath my belt. And at that point, I'm about as secure, or my cord is about as secure as could be. My first choice in shorts and pants or cargo pockets is men's Duluth Flex Fire Hose pants. With the shorts, I always purchase the 11-inch cargo shorts, so the pockets are large enough. They do sell a 9-inch version, so you kind of want to make sure that you have the 11-inch. However, this option is quite expensive. Duluth Trading Company pants are $79.50 a pair, and their shorts are $69.50 a pair. For a more cost-effective solution, I also wear the Erston lightweight 8-pocket cargo short. These are only $29.99. They have a double cargo pocket on the side. The higher pocket, the zipper pocket, is what I put my battery into because of the length of my cord. Then you have a separate button pocket, which is actually pretty nice to put your phone in, or your gum or what have you. These don't have a hammer hold like the Duluth shorts, so I just feed my cords into my pocket. So as you can kind of see me just pulling them out, I just put the slack into my pocket, if you will. Obviously, you could still tuck it under your belt on the side. That being said, with cargo pockets or any other way to wear your equipment, it's always good to be mindful of any pull on your drive line. So whenever I feel that tug on my drive line, I stop. If I use cargo pockets for my everyday wear, when I want to dress up and go to the theater, restaurant, special event, or even sometimes when I'm really doing dirty work and I want to protect my equipment, keep it clean, I use a 5 or 6 pocket football girdle. These have a series of pockets in them, so if you turn them inside out, you can see you have 2 thigh pockets. I use the hip pocket for the controller. Some people use the cup pocket. And this is my backup equipment. It's a little awkward to get this in here when it's not my body, but my controller's in the hip pocket, and then we'll get the batteries into the 2 thigh pockets. It's a lot easier when it's on your body. And there's one more little step. I just wasn't going to model the girdle for you all, but and here you go. And basically that's what I'm wearing underneath my suit pants right now, and it keeps all your cords protected. I also use the football girdle when I just want to wear a pair of jeans. It will work well under dresses for women. 2 main brands. One's Adidas, the other would be Under Armour, and the links and the cost will be done at the end of this video. One thought about buying football girdles is you need them to stay tight, so buy a size smaller than you are. So your equipment stays snug up to your body. The third method I use to carry my equipment is a StashBandz. This is basically an elastic belt, kind of similar to a fanny pack. Two large pockets in the front, large enough for your HeartMate 3 batteries and your controllers. So you have the controller and the battery in one pocket, and the other batteries in the left pocket. Then for my cords, I just gently tuck them underneath the belt and get them out of the way. Now, this solution, basically, I only use really when I'm lounging around the house with not planning to be all that active. Amazon has StashBandz in multiple colors for between $23.99 and $24.99 depending on the size. Shifting the weight back to my upper body, LVADgear.com sells LVAD T-shirts specifically designed for either the HeartMate 3 or the Heartwear. As you can see, there are two pockets on either side to hold your batteries. I put my batteries in upside down just like I do in my cargo pockets to kind of prevent a tight bend on my cords. There is a pocket right up front for the controller, and then I have two tie downs. This is really the nice feature. I have two tie downs, Velcro tie downs, to keep my cords in place, and you can kind of see I loop them around in a pretty loose pattern. This happens to be a fairly expensive option at $99.95 to $119 per shirt. And like the football girdle, you want to make sure that you purchase a size that is snug to your body to hold the weight of the equipment. Typically, I wear the LVAD T-shirt as more of a winter option underneath winter clothing, so it's more concealed and it doesn't look like I'm carrying a VAD. For a more cost-effective solution, you could log on Amazon and get yourself a holster or concealed carry t-shirt. These typically range between $25 and $35 a pair. As you can see, you have a pocket on each side underneath the arm, and each pocket has an elastic strap with a little Velcro connection so you could help secure the batteries down. Unlike the LVAD shirt, there are no tie downs for your cords nor a controller pocket. So all I do with that is I put my controller in my pocket and loosely connect the cords underneath my belt. That said, the last option to carry the equipment I think is a requirement for all VAD patients. It's the LVAD Backpack that's on LVADgear.com. Relatively pretty simple. I always keep my backup equipment in here, more like when I'm active. So as you could see, as I open it all the way up, the LVAD backpack has two elastic straps to hold the batteries in place and a pocket for the controller. I only use this for backup equipment when I'm more active, but a lot of patients that are smaller in size actually use the LVAD backpack as their way to carry their primary equipment attached to their body. That being said, carrying your backup equipment does matter. Like I say, I use my backpack most of the time, but in winter or when I dress up, believe it or not, I just use what I call the camera bag that comes with your equipment when you first get it at the hospital. Also, just to complete, sleeping matters. So for sleeping, all I use is the belt attachment around my neck, since I'm one of those that plug into my MPU every night, unless I'm camping, and in that case I use what I call the purse that comes with your LVAD equipment, since then when I camp I sleep with my batteries. I hope this was helpful to you, and if you like it, let me know. Until next time, this is the Outdoor VAD Guy.